Grand Rising. R.I.P. to the 3 black soldiers who made the decision long ago to sacrifice their lives to protect and defend white imperialism while never having defended their own rights as humans in America, because their rights have been submerged since they were born. I know a lot of you are just happy to wake up every day just to breathe again, right? But understand this, America is on a course to basically become a global terrorist group. There's no bigger terrorist group in the world than the U.S. military. Now they've lowered the standards to recruit, not just on a national level, but on an international level, to basically bring people into their terror dome. Their tyranny is not enough as it is right now, but they're extending an olive branch to the slackers because they no longer require a GED or a high school diploma to join the Navy. In addition, they also accepted immigrants, migrant workers, into the military as a path to U.S. citizenship. These immigrants, they're not even valiant enough at home to fight to change their homeland, but they want to take the chance to become terrorists in the U.S. military just to gain U.S. citizenship. This is a psychological cleansing, a psychological war that we face as people. Your children, if they don't want to be anything in life, now they can be trained as cold killers by the U.S. military so they can further advance their tyranny around the world. And we see this as acceptable. If you don't believe me, go do the research for yourself. Y'all need to wake up.
Her bill says that if you're an undocumented person in this country and you can pass the physical and the required test, background test, the like, you can serve in our military, and if you do it honorably, we will make you citizens of the United States. Do we need that? You know what the recruiting numbers are at the Army and the Navy and the Air Force? They can't reach their quotas each month. They can't find enough people to join our military forces. And there are those who are undocumented who want the chance to serve and risk their lives for this country. Should we give them the chance? I think we should.
Grand Rising. It will take black people a lifetime to deconstruct racism. This country has more human rights violations than any other country on this planet. They have more incarcerated people than any other nation on the planet. You understand what I'm saying? In addition, it will take us 4 or 5 generations to decriminalize the laws that are in place to criminalize black people. Please understand what I'm saying. A lot of these judges, they exchange their white robes for black robes. A lot of these prosecutors, same thing. So when a white person commits murder against a black person or a cop shoots a black person unjustly, these prosecutors, they go into a room, they select a grand jury most of the time that would basically find these white killers not guilty, or they would present facts that would make sure they're absolved of the responsibility of murder. Just like they tell black people, you have the right to be tried by a jury of your peers. 99% of the time, the jury is all white, so where are the peers? You understand? So to break down the whole criminal justice system, it works against black people in all aspects, because when you have black prosecutors, they usually go harder because they're pick-me people most of the time. They want to show their mayors, their white mayors, governors, or whomever, that they're tough on crime. So they go harder against black people, as do the white racist judges who would sentence black people to twice the amount of time they would do a white person committing the same crime. You understand? So the system, the only way to beat it is for us to unite. It's for us to understand our strength as one. Because if we keep fighting individually, we're never going to get anywhere. You understand what I'm saying? 2024, we can't use the same tactics against a system that is well designed, that is well oiled, And we can't feed into that system anymore because it's going to bring about our destruction, our demise. We have to rise above whatever plan they have in place for us. And we have to recognize our strength in numbers and unity. And that's our only way out. Y'all have a good one. Grand Rising. What we're not going to do anymore in 2024 is promote white supremacy. No other group promotes white supremacy more than black people. We're not the only group of people who have been colonized, but we do the most to promote white supremacy. We also allow white supremacy to divide us because we fight for our nationality. A lot of y'all act like your ancestors had a choice in becoming American, Jamaican, Haitian, Puerto Rican, Dominican. They didn't have a choice. Their nationality was forced upon them. And now we're allowing the nationality and languages forced upon us to divide us. Nobody fights harder for their last name than black people. Most of y'all don't know the origin of your last names. It doesn't belong to us. You understand? It belonged to them. They forced it upon us. But we're constantly, oh, we're the Johnsons. Oh, we're the Jones. We're the Browns. Whatever last name your last name is, it does not belong to you. It was forced upon your ancestors. You got to remember that. Nobody promotes white brands more than black people. Oh, I'm down. I'm Louis Vuitton down. I'm Gucci down. I'm this and that. Stop disrespecting yourself. You understand? And the problem with us is that the more money we make, the more we tend to promote them, and the more silent we become about black issues. The more silent we become about the position of black people in the world. The more silent we become about black exploitation. That is a problem. You understand? We have to stop fighting for white supremacy. We have to let go of their way. We have to understand that we need to find our own way. Until we do, we're still going to be the little puppies that they have managed to raise their own way, and we continue to guard them as grown-ass people like guard dogs. We guard their culture. We guard their way of life. We guard their religion. We do everything in our power to maintain their status quo. We need to wake up from that shit, and we need to stop it in 2024. Y'all have a good one. Grand Rising. I hope black people and Americans understand the weight that their voices carry around the world. America is responsible for every atrocity that takes place in every corner of the world. When we as Americans express our disdain for America's transgression and tyranny against the world, we are telling the world we stand with them. We are exposing America's immorality. Without the support of America, the Zionists in Israel right now wouldn't be able to do what they're doing to Palestine. You understand? The genocide happening in the Congo right now has U.S. policies written all over it. The displacement of Sudanese people right now in the Sudan, that's a well-calculated U.S. move to make sure there's instability in the Sudan. The gang situation in Haiti, that is a U.S. blueprint so they can steal minerals and resources in Haiti while telling the world how poor Haiti is. You understand? We as Americans have to fucking voice our opinion to the world and let them know that we don't stand with this government. We don't stand with the imperialists. We don't stand with the bullshit that they're doing to the world. Understand this. When Michael Jordan was being bullied by the Detroit Pistons because he was too skinny to stand up against them, what did he do? He went in the gym and got stronger so he could defeat them. What have we done as black people to defeat imperialism, white supremacy, and now Zionism? America has financed the Nazis. America has financed apartheid. America is financing Zionism in Israel. They're giving them money and weapons. We're standing behind, and they're forcing us to become a Zionist state. We need to wake the fuck up and let the world know. We don't stand for the bullshit. Grand Rising. Today I want to address the misplaced energy of our brothers and sisters. In the black community, whenever one of our children comes home and say so-and-so did this or that to them or disrespected them in any type of way, those of us who are tough enough, we'd show up at that person's house alone. But if we don't think we're tough enough, we'll gather Ray Ray and them, right? To make sure that we can win, that somebody's going to get a beat down and the disrespect will stop. That's what we do. That's how we handle each other. However, when a cop murders one of our children, all of a sudden, all that machismo disappears. Even Ray Ray and them, who are the known thugs in the family, who stand for nothing, who will shoot at will. Ray Ray and them, they're not tough enough to go see those cops. You understand? One of the main reasons for this is because we have been indoctrinated to think less of ourselves, to disrespect ourselves, to not show any type of love toward one another, because we want to embrace a racial epithet, the N-word, because we think we can empower something that white people created to demean our ancestors. You understand? Whenever we get angry, every black person is a nigger. You understand what I'm saying? Meanwhile, all that machismo dissipates when it comes to a cop murdering our children. I'm just simply asking you to keep the same energy. You understand? If you're not tough enough to show up at a cop's home, at least protect your children by purchasing life insurance for them, so that the system, which is all about their money, would make sure these cops act accordingly when they interact with your child or children. That's all I'm asking. All this misplaced energy toward one another is for our own destruction. The system wins no matter what, because when you go beat up somebody because of your child, you're going to get arrested. The system still wins. You understand? But when a cop murders your child, nothing happens. We lose. Stop all that misplaced energy, okay? Use your energy accordingly and make sure you identify the true enemy. Grand Rising. Lately, I've been addressing black men a lot more because I feel that black men are not dangerous enough. We have to learn to stay dangerous. But as long as we continue to point fingers to black women about accountability and personal responsibility, we're never going to hold ourselves accountable. And we're not going to understand our own personal responsibility, not just to the family, but to the community. We have to be men. We have to protect the community. We have to defend the community. We have to defend our children, our women, and everything else. That is our job. That is our position. That's what they do for their women. You understand? We have to do the same. And as much as y'all like to talk shit about black women, a lot of you that are talking that shit, you were raised by single black women. So I don't understand how you can repeat a cycle that was destructive to you with your own children. You understand what I'm saying? When was the last time you went to a gun range? Kept in shape, box, do anything? Nah, we're quick to point to the women and say what they're not doing. But what are we doing? You understand? When was the last time you stood around and watched 3, 4 cops beat on a black man, but you just standing there and you being held back with billy clubs, threats, tasers. Just imagine if a group of black men were all armed. Those cops would understand they can't beat on one man while 30 men are standing around with guns in their hands. That's where I'm trying to get y'all at. Stop being spectators. Stop pointing fingers. You understand? It's our community. We have to defend it. You're calling yourself kings, but you're acting like peasants. You understand what I'm saying? We have to take charge of our community. Women are going to be women. You think white men are sitting around complaining about what white women are doing? No, they protect them at all costs. We have to learn to do the same. We have to protect our children, and we definitely must stand up against aggression in our community from other people. And we have to stop abusing people in our own community. That's what being a real man is about. It's not about pointing fingers, calling out the women, doing this and that. We have to teach them better, because the cycle is going to repeat itself again if we don't change it. We need to wake the fuck up. The only people who get into a position of power who refuse to advocate on behalf of their own people are black people. The only people who support those who are in a position of power who refuse to advocate on behalf of black people are black people. Kamala Harris became vice president. The first thing she said was she wasn't just here for black people. Barack Obama told us that he was the president of America, not black people. And guess what? Black people accepted this bullshit. Y'all need to wake the fuck up. Grand Rising. Loving a country that refuses to love you back is going to keep you ignorant forever. And it may just be your downfall. How can you love a country that refuses to recognize your rights as a citizen? You have to protest. You have to fight just to be recognized, just for your rights to be respected. How can you love a country that is constantly trying to find ways to incarcerate you unjustly for crimes you haven't committed, so they can point to you as the criminals of their society? How can you love a country that allows their cops to indiscriminately murder your children, your wife, your husband without being charged? How can you love a country that refuses to acknowledge you as Americans? Instead, they call you African Americans. How can you love a country that constantly bombs other countries around the world whenever they need resources? How can you love a country that has murdered and destabilized more black governments and more black people around the world? How can you love a country that is constantly bombing innocent men, children, and women around the world at will? How can you love a country that refuses to respect your dignity as a human being? We have to stop being in love with America, because America does not love black people in America or around the world. Grand Rising. I'm going to stay on the topic of black here because a lot of black people are way too ignorant to understand their own subjugation. You understand what I'm saying? Chastity Jones, a black woman who was well qualified for a job, was denied a job because she had locks. There's a police officer in Atlanta who was forced to cut his dreads by the police department. There's a young black kid in Texas who's gotten suspended twice because he has locks. This is our hair. Black hair has always been under attack from way back in slavery when they started calling black people nappy-headed. The kinky hair that we have is exclusively ours because every other group on this goddamn planet can use the same fucking comb. You understand? Except for us. That means our antennas are sharper than everybody else. We're supposed to be above the fray, period. But a lot of y'all don't understand that. You want to subscribe to the bullshit these people are dishing out. This is one of the main reasons why black female anchors on television don't wear their hair naturally, because the system in place forced them to subscribe to their whatever bullshit standard of beauty with this flowing whatever bullshit ass fucking dog smelling hair that they sometimes have. You understand what I'm saying? Michelle Obama was in the White House for 8 years. Not one time did she wear her hair naturally to empower black women. So even a first lady was weakened by the system. She didn't even stay with her sisters. The sisters that fucking voted her husband to office twice. And black men, a lot of y'all are paying for fucking weaves, perms, and everything else because you want your woman to look a certain way. A natural looking woman can't even get a fucking second look from a lot of y'all because y'all too fucking stupid to appreciate natural beauty from black women. That's why a lot of y'all are coming to my page. One of the main reasons y'all saying all types of dumb shit, she shouldn't have worn a wig and all this shit because this white boy was doing this stupid ass shit. You don't get it. You understand? You're too ignorant to get it. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody else's hair is under attack except for black people's hair. And y'all need to wake up to that fucking reality and understand it's not a fucking joke. Do not allow white people to come wherever the fuck they're coming from to play with black women's hair, to play with our children's hair. It's not a fucking game. Y'all need to wake up to that fucking reality and the truth. Period. Grand Rising. Black men have never posed a threat or danger to the system. As a matter of fact, the system has trained and taught us to be submissive to the system while also training us to be dangerous to ourselves. We don't think the same way about taking a black life as we do a white life. You understand what I'm saying? We want to act tough around other black men. We don't want to say what's up. We don't want to greet each other. You know, we always want to look like we're hard, but we're quick to say how you doing to white people. They've trained you that way. They want you to be a danger to yourselves because as long as you're a danger to yourself, you're not a threat to them. You understand? For every black man that another black man kills, the system gets to swallow 2, 3, and sometimes 5 additional black men because they're going to charge as many people as they possibly can with the murder of one so they can gain 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bodies in one case. And we've done a great job working for the system. You understand what I'm saying? We have to become a danger to the system. And this is worldwide. These people know that they can go to Africa, they can arm young children to kill other black people. They can go to the Caribbean, arm young children, turn them into street gangs so they can murder black people on behalf of the system. This is a worldwide phenomenon because when they put these guns in our neighborhoods, when they put these guns in our hands, we're not using it on them. We're using them on ourselves. And they understand that. They have a system that trickles down from top to bottom where black politicians basically exploit their own people. And then you have the black people at the street level doing the filthy work of killing black people on behalf of the system. If we were to use that energy against the system, I promise you, there would be no guns handed out to 12, 13-year-olds in Africa, the Caribbean, or our own neighborhood in America. We need to wake up to that bullshit. I see a lot of y'all are pissed off over the video that I posted about the NFL asking players to take a knee for Israel. Don't act like hypocrites. During week 6, the NFL forced all those highly paid slaves to take a moment of silence for Israel on national television. They were humiliated nationally in front of the entire fucking world while these Zionists were massacring Palestinians. I watched it. I saw it. Fuck the NFL. But you know what? Black men Y'all need to start growing some fucking balls. You understand what I'm saying? We ain't shit. They kill our fucking children. We want to protest with our fucking hands up. We know they're coming with their guns, but we show up empty-handed so we can get fucking brutalized by them during a protest. They kill our fucking women. We do nothing about it. You understand? You have the right to bear arms, but you're not ready. Half of y'all can't even like half the shit that I say on this fucking page because you're too scared. You understand? Oh, you're a tough guy around other black people, around other black men. But when it comes time to defend your community, y'all got panties on. You understand? This is why the NFL owners can tell these motherfuckers when to kneel, when to shut the fuck up, when to do any fucking thing that they tell them to do. You understand? Y'all are not tough. You're tough against your own community. You're tough against your own people. When it comes time to fight for true freedom, half of y'all are fucking scared. You understand? Oh, some of y'all even threaten me. Y'all are quick to talk shit to me. You understand? Well, y'all too scared to stand up to them. Then you want to talk about a revolution. You want to talk about freedom. You ain't free. You think these motherfuckers are free because they're making millions of dollars? You think these motherfucking slaves are fucking free because they live in a mansion? It's just a bigger fucking prison. That's all it is. You think they're gladiators? They're gladiators to entertain white people. Ray Lewis? You think Ray Lewis is really tough? He's a fucking Sambo standing up to tell people, oh yeah, don't stand up with Kaepernick. That's what he is. He ain't tough. He has never stood up against shit. You understand? Fuck these fake ass gladiators. You understand? We as black men need to take fucking hold of our community. We need to stop protecting our children, our women, and stand up and fight the real fight. Stop fucking talking.